Hello friends, this is Ryan Hicks of TaughtToProfit.com. Today I want to talk to you about should you go to college? I get asked this question a lot, and I normally answer that basically unless you're going to be a lawyer or a doctor or something that requires it, 100% requires college education, I'm against it. But I want to be very clear why. It's because I don't perceive that the value you're getting from going to college outweighs any supposed potential negatives that really don't exist. I mean, every year they throw out these studies that high school education people earn this amount of money, and college people, educated people, earn 10, 15, 20% more, and over a lifetime it equals this amount of money. That's all well and good, but those are all average performing people. What about those that do great things? Does a college degree matter? You look at the millionaires and billionaires of the world, it is a huge assortment of people. From people who didn't graduate high school to people who have doctoral degrees and graduate degrees, undergraduate degrees, all the way down to associate degrees. But there's a huge assortment, and there's no correlation between you getting a college education and becoming a millionaire or billionaire. It just doesn't happen. You could, but that's not what makes the difference in your life. What makes the difference is your continuing education. This is where so many fail. There's an old Shakespeare quote, "Of all knowledge, the wise and good seek most to know themselves." When you go to college and that's where your education ends, or if you go to high school and your education ends there, that is a huge problem. That is where the average person lands, where their education ends at whatever schooling they ended with. But the person that becomes those millionaires, those billionaires, those people who change the world are the people who continue to learn. College is not the end of their education. They continue on through an entire lifetime learning and educating themselves. And this is where the big difference is made. This is the people that excel to the heights of success, because they are the ones that continually learn each and every day. They're learning and growing, perfecting themselves. You can go to college and that can be great for you, but if that's where your education ends, you are going to have a long, hard life ahead of you. If you don't have improvement, if you don't have constant growth, it doesn't matter whether you went to college or you only went to high school or you didn't do either. That's mediocrity. That's where most people end up. The ones that become true successes, that grow into great wealth, are those who continue to learn. They don't stop learning with college. They don't stop learning with some book they read 2 years ago. They learn each and every day. They are a better person and they're growing and learning. And so if you're just looking at college, is this going to get me a job? Is it going to get me a career? That's probably a bad motivation. First thing, all the money wasted in it, it's pretty frustrating for many of those people. They get out of college and they go move back in with their parents because they have no prospects. And all they have is a piece of paper that doesn't differentiate between them and another person with the same piece of paper, because they have nothing unique about them that shows them to be better for that position than the other person with the same piece of paper. Henry David Thoreau in Walden said, "To my astonishment, I was informed on leaving college that I had studied navigation. Why, if I had taken one turn down the harbor, I should have known more about it." This is something written back in 1854, 1850s range. And even then, men who had went to college, who were educated men, these were not dumb people. They weren't people that just didn't want to go to college because they were too lazy or too stupid. They went there and realized a lot of what they were professed to have been taught, they learned nothing. And just basically going out and doing a little bit of effort in that area, they would have gained more knowledge and more wisdom. And unfortunately, I see that in so many college people today. I talk to people. I hired, for example, one person with college education, had a master's degree, and was by far one of the least intelligent people I ever knew. Couldn't handle basic things. And they kept mentioning their degree and all the time it took. And I had to be very gentle with them, but say, your degree doesn't matter. Your performance is what matters. The degree may matter in academic studies. It may matter to someone who cares about that. But when you can't perform in the real world, that college education is useless. Now, if you go to a good college and they educate you well and you're taught to think and you learn great things and you go out and become a noble individual, that is good. That's a good thing. But by far, most people aren't going to do that. Most people waste their life away. They waste 4 to 8 more years of their life going to college, being poorly educated or being educated in the wrong things, and then go out and have a slow, miserable life, still paying off all that debt to be poorly educated. And then, like Thoreau saying, if I just done one thing, I would have learned more. I would have known more than I was supposedly taught in this college. So it's something obviously up to you, but for me, it just seems like something that holds people back. And I've seen too many low-performing people with college degrees. Now, if you're a high-performing person and you maybe start your own business on the side, you're going to college, you're doing all these things, you might do very well, and that might work perfectly for you. You know what you can do. You know what's going to best benefit you. I can't tell you that. You're a unique individual, different from me. All I know is for myself, and I can only speak for myself, I feel like if I would have went to college, I would have completely wasted my life. Probably be stuck in some cubicle somewhere, being a good little slave, doing nothing of any substance or value, probably barely getting by financially, and being miserable. Doing what everybody else is doing. I would have got trapped and educated into being mediocre, educated into being like everyone else, and thus failing in life. So my friends, I hope this has been a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.